everyone, I am Glenn and welcome to the Glenliness Weekly Vlog. I am fired up today. I am wide awake. I am well caffeinated. It is approaching 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I've gotten a bunch of stuff done this morning. I have now loaded a couple of bags of old clothes into the trunk and I am on the way to Goodwill to drop them off. Still lots and lots of clutter, lots of stuff around the house that has to be taken care of. But this morning, I made a huge dent in the clutter room. What was I calling it? The junk room. That's what I called it last week. The junk room. I cleared off the desk. Now, it's still a junk room. I haven't taken much out of that room, but I just kind of reorganized stuff a bit and got that closet kind of under control, closer to under control, to the point that I could close the closet, which makes the room look a lot better. And like I said, I cleaned off the desk, and that's just, it's such a difference. Like, you could actually go in that room and get work done now. So that's awesome. The next step is to try and figure out where some of the other stuff can go and clear off the treadmill and maybe tread occasionally, because I know I have not been getting much exercise. Now there's something that I haven't talked about. So I talked about, like, I don't know, 2 months ago or whatever it was, that I had my hospital stay and I got out of there, and that got me to push the push that I needed to go and seek, mental help, and got diagnosed with OCD and anxiety, and I've been getting that taken care of, so that's been going really well, and I just feel much better about myself. I've talked about that, but I haven't talked about as much that I am on antidepressants now, which are frequently prescribed for either OCD and or anxiety, so I have been prescribed with those, I have been taking those, and the one side effect I don't like is there is a little bit of weight gain. And anybody who knows me knows I'm like a pretty skinny dude, and I've kind of always been that way. And like, you look at me now and I'm still a pretty skinny dude, but like, it's getting to the point where like pants aren't fitting, and that's just disturbing. Partly because pants aren't fitting and I don't like that, but the other part is I just bought a whole bunch of new pants. I'm like trying to overhaul the wardrobe, which is why I'm getting rid of some of that stuff that's in the trunk, because it was just old and never fit me right anyway. So I got stuff that fit me better, and now it's not fitting me. So yeah, I need to do some treading, some walking, some exercise, and get into some kind of shape. And I'm of an age where you start to get a little bit around the middle anyway. But I don't know, I've just always had a really good metabolism, and that hasn't been an issue for me, which is awesome. But now I'm starting to feel like most of the rest of the world feels, and yeah, getting a little bit of that belly fat in there. I got a crosswalk there, just making sure I don't run anybody over, because that would be bad. So yeah, like I said, on my way to Goodwill, got a bunch done this morning, trying to catch up on, some computer work, and I caught up on old emails and things like that, and getting things into shape, and yeah, more to do today. Parents coming by tomorrow. Day after that, I'm gonna do my first interview for my podcast. And I don't know, I might do a little filming on my way to that or something, we'll see. But other than that, things are going good. So yeah, let's cut to, I don't know, something else. Apparently it's cut to the kids' room. I don't know if I've taken you in here before. When the realtor did the walk through the house, he said that this was the one room that was in good shape, so. Anyway, so I had mentioned a few weeks ago that we were starting potty training, and that's going pretty well, but one thing we hadn't started yet was night training. We've still got the little guy using his pull-ups at night and during naps and stuff, but we kind of have to do a few things before we can do that, and one of those things is converting his crib to a toddler bed, because he can't get out of there. I mean, he probably could get out of there, but he hasn't made any efforts to get out yet, and I don't think he would climb out of there. He's climbed out of packing place, but not out of that. So I am thinking I'm gonna do that conversion now, so he'll be able to get out on his own. We've got like some doorknob things set up. We don't have it there, but we have them out here so that he can't get into most of the rooms. We have ordered a gate to go at the top of these stairs, but we have some tension gates that can go in the meantime. And the only room that he can get into is our room, but it seems unfair to close him out of that. So now what I need to do is figure out how to convert this thing. Close the door to keep the cat out. So first step is getting the stuff out of here. He loves this blanket. It's very soft and fuzzy. I'd like to introduce you to Woof Woof and these are the stuffed animals he sleeps with. This is Woof Woof, who used to be Doobie. No drug reference intended. The one who named him Doobie originally was me. This was my dog. It's my little puppy. Now, I remember when I got him, he was a she, I'm pretty sure, because there was a little pink bow attached to the back of the neck there that I cut off because I guess I didn't want a girl dog. I don't know. Regardless, this was Doobie. When I gave him to Ollie, he actually broke the nose off, and I couldn't find it. I did end up finding it eventually, but in the meantime, I sewed on a button, and that's just kind of stuck. So Woof Woof has a button nose, but Doobie did not. So anyway, that's Woof Woof. That's He wasn't too clever with the naming, but what are you gonna do? He was like 1 when we gave these to him. I think he's always had those. I think the monkey's name was actually the same as my son's name, which I don't know if I've mentioned it. I'm not gonna do it now. But yeah, so he decided, I asked him one day what he wanted to name the monkey, and he said so he became known as He sleeps with Binkies still, and they kind of accumulate under the crib. Usually I'll change the sheets and pull them out of there once a week. So we actually have the instructions in here for our Delta Products 4-in-1 crib. It was also supposed to change into a toddler bed, but there was an issue with getting those pieces shipped to us, and they had to be picked up, and then I ended up giving up and thinking, oh, I'll get it whenever. But the other thing is, he's chewed up this piece pretty bad. I think this one comes off for the toddler bed. No, that rail's still, I don't know, I'll find out soon enough. So instead of, we just gave up on that and figured we'll just get him another bed when he gets that big, because he's really gonna want this the whole time. Yeah, that top rail does come off, so the chewed up rail will go away, and it will look like that when I'm done. So I guess I will go get some tools and Allen wrench. Seriously, all I need is an Allen wrench? Really? Alright, apparently all I need is an Allen wrench and some pins and hardware, and I guess I'll speed this up and we'll transform that into the toddler bed. Cue high-speed montage. Okay, the reason I'm stopping here, so there's the set of instructions that came, that's just for the toddler bed conversion, and then there's the instructions that have the whole 4-in-1 instructions. And this has a way to convert it into the toddler bed, but, oh wait, or is that the full bed? No, they're different. These are different. Okay. Oh, I see. One is for this, and one is for the guardrail. It's different. Alright, I didn't really expect this, but just, I don't know, this this almost gets me a little teary. It's not that I don't want the kid to grow up, of course I do, but just like, I don't know, it's like, it's a lot of milestones kind of come quickly at this age. with the potty training and the moving up to the toddler bed, and he's a really good kid. I'm a very lucky guy to have such a wonderful son. So I'm sure I mentioned at some point in these vlogs that my son is adopted. My wife and I adopted him. So, you know, we're not his birth parents. We are his parents. He has never known any other. He was in the NICU for the first week of his life, and we visited him there. We saw him, I think, the day after he was born. It was definitely within that first week, and we held him every day, and we saw him. So, you know, there's certain concerns, I guess, that come along with adopting, because, you know, he's not genetically going to have our traits and features and things like that. But it's unquestioning that he picks stuff up from us, and like he's our boy. Let's try that again. I think this thing cut off because it was on for so long, but I did want to take you across the hall and show you the junk room. Let me flip this around. And as you can see now, the desk is mostly clear of stuff. Still have the large area of floor is still clear. There's the box of clothes from the in-laws that Ollie hasn't grown into yet, and his portable car seat and our giant pile of pillows. But there, you know, there's the treadmill for treading once I get that cleared off more. So the closets are closed, and there's still some stuff piled outside of here, but it's much better. I feel like this was a pretty good accomplishment for today, and getting that and the conversion done on the toddler bed. So it's been a productive day, and it's still only 2:15. I did make a stop at Wegmans to pick up some milk and other things like that, so we're stocked up on that. And I think that's probably going to be all I record today. Maybe I'll check in with you later in the weekend. I do think maybe on my way to do that interview for the podcast, but until then, I will fade over to that. All right, I just merged onto the Pennsylvania Turnpike, heading for the podcast interview. Determined the best course of action was to meet my co-host Jim halfway up the turnpike a bit, and then drive together the rest of the way. Because it's about a half an hour for me to get to him, but it's an hour from each of us to get to where we're holding this interview. But this way, I drive a half hour, meet him for some lunch, talk things over, and then we head over together for the second half hour of the trip. So, that ought to work well. On the downside, I'm stuck with some turnpike driving, but I mean, that was pretty much inevitable to get there. I'm just getting off the turnpike to meet him for lunch, so yeah. A little bit maybe nervous about this, because it's not the kind of thing I've done before, and not even the kind of thing we've been doing with the podcast. This has been going about, I'd say 3 months now, I think. We've got about 3 months worth of episodes. Maybe 3.5. 14 total episodes in the can. And I think it's going pretty well. I know we have some listeners. For some reason, the metrics on the Apple Podcasts thing is not working for us, so I honestly have no way of tracking how many listeners we do have. I can track how many people are watching this, and there's not a whole lot of you out there yet, but I appreciate you. So, we're gonna head there, stopping at a place called the Simple Greek. A little Greek food for lunch, and then we'll head on over to that interview. And maybe I'll check back in with you on the way home to let you know how it goes, or maybe I won't. There's always a lot of mystery involved with this, but yeah, so there you go. I got about a 20-minute drive ahead of me, so I think I'm going to throw on some podcasts of somebody else and sit back and enjoy the drive. Catch you in a bit, or next week. I don't know which yet. Bye.